Okay, in this first chart, I'll be showing you some charts. And in this first one, we're just going to understand some principles. Right here, we have 1 through 12 going up in the center. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. So those are even numbers to the left. And these will be the odd numbers, 1, 3, and then the factor of 3, which is 6, 9, and 12. So what you have here is the 3, 6, 9 principle. Ultimately, 12 is a 3. So 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. But what we want to know about here doesn't have to do with those. What we're going to, think of astrology here, and what you're seeing are the 12 signs of the zodiac up the center. So when you look at these numbers, I want you to start to get used to the idea that whenever you see a number, well, what is 1? It's Aries. What is 2? It's Taurus. What is 3? It's Gemini. What is 4? It's Cancer. What is 5? It's Leo. So understand, you want to start looking at numbers as the signs. Don't see numbers as numbers. See them as the signs. And what you're going to do is understand amazing things. So what I'm going to show you here is that 1 is circled with 5 is circled, with 7 is circled, with the 11 is circled. What you have here are the base egos, Aries and Leo. And then you have the superegos, Libra and Aquarius. So I'm showing you the base ego in the lower half of the octave, and then the superego in the higher half of the octave. So 7 and 11 are the superegos, Libra and Aquarius. 1 and 5 are the base egos, Aries and Leos. Now, what's interesting to know about these? They don't have a left or a right. So understand, this is a mathematical chart of 3 factors, meaning there's 3 factors of mathematics, 1, 2, and 3. 4 is not considered a factor. It's made of factors. So basically 1, 2, and 3 are the only factors. And so this is a chart using 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then it's doubling its third to its sixth to its ninth to its 12th. So these are by 3s. These are by 2s. And these are by 1s. So I'm showing you a mathematical version of a chart using factors 1, 2, and 3 by 1s, 2, and 3. If you look at this right here, what you're going to see is that there's no left or right for 1, because using the by 2s or by 3s, the factor of 1 doesn't have anything in this. Like by 3s, the factor of 1 starts the 3s. So the factor of 1 starts the 3 to the 6 to the 9. The factor of 1 starts also the 2 to the 4 to the 6. So basically, the 1 is not left-oriented of yin or right-oriented of yang. The 1 doesn't have a right or a left preference. It's called base ego. It doesn't lean towards the right or left. It leans towards self-centeredness, or the center. Leo will be the same thing. Using the 2 factors, 2 and 3, 5 doesn't have a preference for right or left. It's centered as selfish, self-centered. Same with Libra and same with Aquarius, although they're not going to be as selfish, because this lower half of the octave represents self and the upper half of the octave represents not self or others. So after you go through the balance of Virgo, do you see this yin and yang here? Understand that when you have 1, 2, and by 3s, you won't have a 2 on this side. If you go 1, 2 by 2s, you're going to have a 2 only on this side. See this 2 and this 2? Understand why you have 2 3s here, because using the factor of 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, and 3, well, you're going to have a 3 up the middle. You'll also have the 3 on the side. And also, you won't have a 3 here because this is by 2s, not by 3s. Do you see how this works? This is considered by 3s because every one of them is in space. So yang is 3 is yang oriented, 2 is yin oriented towards the yin, or left centered. So 2 will be left centered. 3 Gemini will be right centered. 4 will be left centered. 5 will have no preference, like 1. That's why they're called base egos. They're self-centered, meaning that this will tend to be left, and these will have neither left nor right preference. This will tend to be right. Now look at this, the first yin and yang together. The 6, if by 2s, 2, 4, 6, also by 3s, 3, 6, so we got, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so you see the 6, 6, 6, well, ultimately, It's because using the 3 factors, 6 is the only number in mathematics which has 3 factors, and all 3 factors go into 6. 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6, and 1 times 6 is 6. So the 6 is ultimately a number that all 3 factors 1, 2, and 3 will all go into, and it's expressed in this version of it's yin left-centered or yang right-centered. It's both left and right-centered. That's why they call 6 the balance. It's also kind of ironically 666, which is kind of ironic. The most balanced sign, Virgo, is basically 666. And ultimately that 666 means, in mathematical sense, absolute balance. And if it's in reverse, it could be absolutely off balance. So as balanced as 6 can be, so the more balanced something is when it's good, the worse it'll be when it's bad. So the reason why 666 is bad is because since it's so balanced, if it comes off balance, it'll be as twisted as it is good. So the more benevolent you are, the more evil you become, if you ever do become evil. And understand, this in a mathematical sense is not talking about evil and good. It's talking about balance or off balance. This 666 is the most balanced in the middle of the zodiac, and so will be the most off balance if it's in reverse. That's just a point to mention. It's both left and right centered. Now the 7 Libra is the not self, or the upper octave superego, which is basically, there are 2 superegos in the higher octave of the zodiac. They're basically selves that are more like other people oriented, and then there are, but the first 2 in the first octave are selves that are more self-oriented, more selfish-centered. When it crosses over the balance, it becomes, so you've got self up to here, just kind of selfish self. Well, ultimately it's oriented towards itself, yes. And then it goes through this balance, Virgo, centered balance, and it becomes others, or not self. So basically the only difference between this ego and this ego, and this ego and this ego, is they're all egos. These are self egos, and these are other egos that are more others. Now the point here is, do you see up here at 12, yin and yang? 12, 12, 12. 10 is left oriented, 9 is right, 8 is left, 7 has no preference. See Aquarius? No preference. 6 has both. It's both right and left. So the only 2 here that are right and left are Pisces and Virgo. So understand the most balanced signs are going to be Pisces and Virgo. And ultimately that could be untrue and also not the truth, in the sense that Pisces could lose. If a Pisces loses their 2, they become just like Aries, like a 1 up in the 12th, which means that there's lots of Pisces that are not balanced. So you'll say, yeah, I know lots of Pisces are not balanced though, but they can ultimately be the most balanced for sure. So the 2 signs capable of actual both yin and yang that already have it when they're born are Pisces and Virgo. All the other signs have a preference of either yin or yang. Taurus has yin. Gemini has yang. Cancer has yin. Scorpio has yin. Sagittarius has yang. Capricorn has yin. And so the only ones that have both yin and yang are, again, Virgo and Pisces. So this is showing you here the energies. In the next video, on this next page, it will go into more depth of the same kind of chart. Thanks.